Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Garage Golf Simulator. I am Turbo Talon Golf, aka Shelby Iverson. It is the 28th of February, right? 2026. Yeah, Saturday. Happy Saturday. I didn't realize how long it had been since I last streamed, but here we are. Got some TikToks for you. Guys, it's pretty difficult to make simulator golf exciting. And I realize that it's pretty boring. No matter what you do, no matter how you try to spin it, or like I do TikToks and shit, and it's just boring. It's probably just better that it should be background noise. You'd have to be putting on a pretty good show in order for sim golf to not just be background noise. Like for you to sit and pay attention to it and watch intently, I think it'd be kind of weird. Looks like DLud's league is 2 rounds for some reason. And it's at Redtail. I really like Redtail. Let's look at some shitty TikToks and maybe that'll help me decide what I want to do. What do we got here? I think we're connected to this shitty software. Yep. What do we got? Are we connected to it or not? Just connect to the fucking software. God damn, dude. Oh, what do we got for you guys today? I screen captured a lot of TikToks. Let's read this one first. Yeah, this one's all right. You may not agree with my opinion, but this one's all right. This lady's name is Carolyn and my cat. See, I didn't capture the caption. It says, I'm 22 years old. I'm a consistent victim of being, I'm assuming it says being flirted with. How are you a victim of being flirted with? I'm assuming that's what it says, so that's my bad, right? When you assume, you make an ass out of you and me. Anyway, she seems like a lovely young lady. She doesn't have an obligatory nose piercing. She doesn't have a bunch of fucking lip filler. Is she 22 years old? I don't know. But she's saying when someone uses, well, they're both consenting adults to excuse someone 40 plus dating people that are still in their 20s. It's not an excuse. They're technically both consenting adults. I don't understand. Okay, so I did just find this lady's fatal flaw. She's got a bunch of jewels and stupid shit on her fingernails. There we go. All right, so she had no obligatory nose hoop piercing. And she doesn't have a bunch of lip filler, but she's got these incredibly ugly fucking nails. Like, let's ignore what she's saying here for a second. How do you wipe your fucking ass with fingernails that long? Do you have an assistant that follows you around and plays cleanup? Because there is no way you are properly wiping your ass with nails that long. But I digress. Guys, my opinion on this topic is, in America at least, you're an adult when you turn 18. I would say maybe 21 would be a little bit more adult. But if the 20-year-old is obviously, in most cases, hopefully going to be the dumber of the two parties. Hopefully by the time somebody's 40 plus, they've got a little bit of life experience under their belt and they're not doing too much stupid shit. And I would assume the 40-year-old is the male and the 20-year-old is the female. I don't really see a problem with this, honestly. I don't know. People will bitch about anything. I myself will bitch about anything. All right, let's take a look at one more for now. This lady's name is Tamara or Tamara. She's got a wall of fucking text here, which I hate. She says, I don't think divorce rates are high because people don't value marriage anymore. I think they're high because a lot of men still want the life their fathers had, and a lot of women absolutely do not want the life their mothers had. I don't have a ton to say about this. This is obviously her opinion. She has done something that is Shelby approved, and she's said a lot instead of all, or assuming that every man wants the life their father had. I don't personally want the life my father had. And any woman would want the life my mother has. I'm not going to get too much into it. I would assume she's never going to watch any of my videos, but in case she does, I don't want to fucking rip her too bad. I think this Tamara or whatever her name is, I think the mistake she made here is that she thinks. I don't understand why so many people are fixated on what fucking men want and what women want, and I don't know. I would assume it's got something to do with wanting to get fucking clicks on TikTok and likes and subscriptions and shit. But that'll do for now. I captured quite a few of these. That one's not especially egregious, but again, happy Saturday morning. I'm not warmed up. Let's just go ahead and play DLud's League, even though it's 2 rounds. If you guys haven't noticed yet, I will bitch about anything. If it's 1 round, it's too short. If it's 2 rounds, it's too long. If it's hard greens, it's too difficult. If it's soft greens, it's too easy. But here we are, trying to make garage golf, simulator golf exciting, and that is incredibly difficult, guys. For this round, the tees are 6,200 yards, which is not too bad. Gimmies are 6 feet, normal greens, normal fairways, elevation's 266 feet above sea level. Fucking surprise. I swear to God, 90% of golf courses in the world are at sea level. Obviously, I don't know what percentage of the world is close to sea level versus what is close to my elevation, which is about 4,000 feet above sea level. It just means your ball's not going to go as far. Let's do this. No warm-up, nothing. We did get the beryllium copper lob wedge. I adjusted the lie and fixed the loft on it. But there it is. Highly coveted golf club, etc., so forth and so on. Let's play some fucking golf. I did take my 2 driving iron out yesterday to the golf course because there's a couple of fairways that were pretty narrow at the course I played. And he consistently put the ball off to the left or the right. So I said, why don't we take our driving iron instead of being a hero on every shot? And it worked. It obviously doesn't go as far as a driver, but it worked for the most part. Why do I keep doing this streaming shit? Why? You know who's entertaining? The El Presador guy. He's entertaining. But it's because he's losing his fucking shit. He's losing his mind. He's cussing up a storm. That's why he's entertaining. Very entertaining, though. I didn't even check to see if the launch monitor was connected to the software or anything, so I'm glad that that ball actually popped into the environment. There's your drive. First shot of the day. 235. $1.15 into the pin. What's our $1.15 club these days? Guys, the Ping I2 irons that I have in the bag right now, they're short. They're one They're 1 to 2 clubs shorter than a traditional set of modern irons are. So if I need to hit 115 uphill at basically sea level, I need to use like a 9 iron. And it still might not even get there, if you can believe that. And lately I just been swinging my swing. Not too many swing thoughts, just hit the ball. Right, it goes where the fuck it goes. I can't be bothered to do too much thinking about it. I don't want to be on the golf course having 115 swing thoughts before every shot. I don't like it. It's not comfortable. I'm not a beginner anymore. I don't need to be standing there for 5 seconds over the ball thinking 100 different swing thoughts. It's just like, just hit the ball, you know? This is obviously going to break, so I'm going to try to at least give myself some kind of chance of making this. What's the stimp? 11 stimp. The ball is taking some time to get into the environment. I'm sure it's just because we have too much shit going on here. What's hole 2? I probably will get like right there. That's probably what I'll do. And it looks like the lateral hazard's just right basically off the edge of the cart path, which I also don't care too much for. But every course is a little different. So if I roll far enough and it goes down across the cart path, which it didn't, we would have been close to being in the lateral. I don't know what happened with that shot. Looks like it was off the toe side of the sweet spot. Is what it is, dude. Wizard of Waz is in the chat. Welcome to the chat. Happy Saturday morning. He says, good day, Shelby. Hope all is well and fine in the kingdom. Dude, other than I had a couple too many beers after I got home from the golf course yesterday, everything's pretty dandy here at the Iverson household. You know how that goes. Or maybe you don't. Maybe you don't drink. Maybe you're smarter than me. But my wife and I hadn't had anything to drink since before Thanksgiving. And she decided to have a glass of wine. And I decided to have a couple of beers because it was like 60 degrees here out on the back deck. And since I don't drink very often, I basically pay dearly for it every time. Hopefully everything's going well with you, sir. I've been seeing you playing a lot of VR golf. All right, guys, this ball is going to want to come off this hillside and go left. In real life, depending on how you strike your ball, sometimes your ball follows the slope and sometimes it doesn't. But if I was a betting man, based on how much I've used this software, this ball is going to jettison over to the left. So what you've got to do is counter aim over to the right quite a bit. Pretty annoying. Yeah, see that? Part of that was my shitty swing and part of that was the simulation software, but we're good to go. Hopefully this is a par 5. If not, I am fucked. Okay, we're good. Waz says, life is good, spring fever. Yes, sir, the weather here is getting quite nice. All right, guys, so if I wanted to hit a 140-yard shot with my old Ping G425s, well, 145 technically, I would hit a 7 or an 8 iron. But I've got to club up so much with these vintage irons that, like, I almost need to hit a 6 iron to go 145 yards at sea level. No kidding. Waz says he got 9 holes in the other day on the sim. His elbow felt okay. Gonna play some more and get new hitting strip, maybe the Carl's gel. Yeah, I'm using the preferred, the SIGPRO preferred hitting mat, but it will, if you hit the ball thick, it will let you know about it. And before I was using the, I can't remember what it was called, but it was more for trying to protect your joints and stuff. All right, so even though that was a mishit, that ball still went too far. Went too far. Need to learn to talk. And now I have to chip this ball, and that's honestly the bar none the weakest part of my game, is this shot right here. Anything from like 50 yards and in. Just a nightmare. But I have been working on it with my golf coach, my swing coach, whatever the hell you want to call it. That took way more concentration than it should have. Probably way more concentration than it takes for a normal person to hit that shot. I don't know why. All right, we got these jokers up here that are 10 under par. Waz says he had no idea he was punishing his joints like that. I agree. When I first started here in the sim, geez, it's crazy to say, what, a year and a half, almost 2 years ago, probably closer to a year and a half, I was just riddled with injuries. I kept pulling a muscle here in my rib cage because I was swinging the club too hard. I had a knee brace on, and I had an ankle brace on because my body wasn't prepared to go from 0 to hero that quickly. Guys, let's just try to get the ball over here on the fat part of the green. We got to hit about, I don't know, 165-ish yards. I'm guessing we're going to be down in these bunkers to the right, but it's kind of difficult for me to know what my 160-ish club is here. I'm still, for some reason, trying to get the hang of these. Terrible shot. Slapped the fuck out of it. Bounce right. We're not too worried about it, guys. I'm not a professional golfer. Looks like we got lucky there. There is something that I do want to chit-chat about with you guys. Therapy session, if you will. I'm getting tired of the shit on social media about how far should this club go. How far should I hit my 7 iron? How far should I hit my 8 iron? Depending on how your clubs are lofted, an 8 iron, your 8 iron may not be an apples to apples comparison of your buddy's 8 iron. Like my 8 iron is so weakly lofted that it's almost like a 9 iron or a pitching wedge. I think we should, and we'll never do it as a golf community, but instead of saying how far do you hit your 7 iron, why don't we start saying shit like, how far do you hit your 40-degree lofted club or whatever? I don't know what a 7 iron's lofted. I think that would be more accurate. Even driver, how far do you hit your driver? Because it's like my buddy plays an 8-degree lofted driver, and I've got another buddy who plays like a 13-degree lofted driver. Those clubs are going to go different distances and have different rollouts. But it's like, no, dude, if it's a driver, regardless of whether it's lofted 7 degrees or fucking 14 degrees, it's like, how far does your driver go? It's just a pet peeve of mine because I'm kind of an anal retentive person. I don't understand why we don't kind of try to standardize some of this shit and stop saying 7-iron. And like, I kind of wish my clubs, instead of saying what number they were, because that's an irrelevant piece of information, they just said what they were lofted. Oh, I smoked that ball. It might stay in the circle. All right, we're putting again. That was a valiant effort. She's leaking pretty good. Let's just putt out here for this will end up being a bogey. It wanted to drop. That was a close shot. I do like red tail though. So we're +1 after 3. That's pretty good golf. If you can continue that streak, you would only be, you'd shoot in the 70s. Of course, here on the Turbo Talon Golf channel, we don't typically do that. The game will eventually come unraveled here. When or where is pretty tough to pinpoint, but it will eventually come unraveled. That is one of the cruxes of being a mid to high handicap golfer. Something will come unraveled here eventually. Is what it is. Might be on this hole depending on where the OB is. All right, I don't know what happened there. Toe side of the sweet spot. But this is a par 5, so if we can hit some kind of decent punch shot, we might be okay. If not, this really doesn't matter, honestly. This ball's going to want to go into this tree in front of us, so we've got a counter aim almost over here, and it still might hit the tree. But this is going to be a 3-iron punch shot. Used this quite a bit yesterday on the golf course. You guys have no idea how fucked we are right now. We are better off trying to take a drop than to do anything with this fence. If I hit over here, I still might hit the fence, but I'm going to hit these trees. In real life, what would I do here? I'd probably try to chip under the fence right here. The funny thing is, right, because I'm a huge cynic, it's in the description of my channel. Why the fuck does this fence need to be here at all? To tell you to keep your golf cart off the fairway? Like, genuinely tell me, why does this fence even need to be here at all? It's just a fucking annoyance, and it's going to cost me a stroke. But here we go. Let's see if we can get under it with another punch. All right, we got really lucky there, guys. For a fence that arguably does not need to be there. And would get the fucking piss beat out of it anyway. There'd be people running their carts into that shit constantly. All right, what do we got here? Not a bad shot. Oh, sim golf is so boring. It is so utterly boring. I appreciate those of you that are watching and chilling in the chat. We're putting for par. Of course, my shit's not on the screen. Come on, dude. What are we doing here? We can probably get that up close. 15-foot putt. Just absolutely smoked that golf ball. I didn't capture any of this lady's information. She says, I'm out here messing with CEOs, doctors, and athletes. Meanwhile, my soulmate is probably a dog walker or something. Guys, the thing that stood out to me about this video is this gal's saying she's out here messing with CEOs, doctors, and athletes, and there's literally at least one fucking car seat in the back of her car. So I'm guessing this TikTok is bullshit and she's actually married. Or she's at least been poked at least one time because she's got a car seat in there, but her caption says she's out on the free market messing with CEOs, doctors, and athletes, and there's at least one car seat there. I think there might be one on the right as well, but I couldn't see it when I was capturing the screen. What am I getting at? I don't fucking know. Waz says he shot 12 over for 9 after not playing for 2 months. Yeah, dude, that's pretty good. That's nothing to walk away from. One thing he's taken from VR to sim, it's helped a little so far, is the follow through and softer hands. Crazy how drastic the physics are. I think a good follow through and soft hands are definitely a key part of a golf swing, and this is coming from a guy who's broken 80 one time in his entire life. It's all important, and we'll get into more of that crap here in a bit, because I did watch this documentary on a golfer named Mo Norman, who has a very weird swing, had a very weird swing. You guys, this woman, this is a type of woman that I would run the other direction from if I saw her in Walmart. She just seems like a difficult person with the straw hat and the little braid in her hair, and I know I'm being a fucking judgy asshole right now, but she's got the little bull ring piercing, and she's got a stud. She's just dripping with originality, and I'm joking, of course. She says, thank God I'm single, because how would I explain to someone that I just decided to buy a school bus and head down the coast of California with no plan at all? If you have enough money to buy a school bus, and I'm not saying an old school bus costs a terrible bunch of money, but if you have enough money to buy an old school bus and you can afford to fix it up and do all of the maintenance cost on it, in addition to her clearly fake set of boobs there, She's absolutely got a plan. She's full of shit, and what this does is make people think that they can quit their jobs and go buy a school bus and do what they want to do with no plan at all. I guarantee this woman has a plan, because A, she could afford a school bus, and B, she can afford to head down the coast with no plan, meaning there's a plan. Anybody who's ever done anything like this before was either incredibly stupid or had a plan. So I'm calling fucking her bluff. And you guys, I'm not picking on women. It's just that's what's in my feed. Gentleman Classic here says, do you know how much of a fucking loser a man has to be for his woman to leave him and start over with absolutely nothing? It's loser, dude. It's loser with one O. When you're trying to point out that somebody is a loser and you literally misspell loser, you don't have any credibility with anymore. You have loosed all of your credibility with me. You guys spell check your shit before you hit send. That's the moral of the story. I think it's so funny when people misspell loser and looser. All right. Why do I keep live streaming? I don't know. It was actually nice to not live stream for a few days because I can only imagine how boring this shit is. So I'm watching this Mo Norman documentary because Tiger Woods was quoted as saying there's only two golfers in history who have owned their swing, and that was Ben Hogan and Mo Norman. Ben Hogan's swing is not that out of the ordinary, but Mo's is very out of the ordinary. And I think as long as you're getting the golf ball up in the air and it's generally going where it should be going, and there's good gapping between the different lofts of clubs you have, just own that golf swing. Your chances of being a professional golfer are almost zero anyway. Just swing your swing. Quit trying to emulate Tiger Woods' swing or Ben Hogan's swing or fucking Rory McIlroy's swing. Just swing your swing. If it's basically doing what it needs to do, you're eventually going to get where you want to go with practice. Now, if you're 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 iron all hit the same distance, there's still probably something fundamentally wrong with your swing, and that needs to get fixed. But if you're hitting those check marks, your ball goes generally the direction you want it to go, and it generally goes the direction or the distance it should go. Just own your swing and keep hitting golf balls, and eventually you're going to start seeing your score drop. And this is coming from a guy who has no business giving swing advice. That's my opinion. After hitting probably in excess of 100,000 golf balls in the last year and a half, year and 3/4, that's my opinion. You can take it or leave it. Probably best off leaving it, honestly, but that's what I would do. All right, guys, if we're too far to the left, we're going to put ourselves in a super hairy situation. But we do have a little bit of some help on the right. Me being not that accurate with this 4-iron, I'm just going to try to get the ball generally over into this bowl over here, if you're picking up what I'm putting down. It is crazy to me that I turn this mic on and hit record and play golf in my garage. It's absurd. Not a bad shot. Very toey. I'm guessing if we look at the replay, we'll see that it was pretty toey. Yeah, it was toey. Good shot. Let's get out of here with a par, hopefully, if I don't botch this putt. 34 playing 41, 42. Number 6 is a 320-yard par 4. It's got a pretty fat fairway, but you can see that if I duck hook something over to the left, we're going to be in a world of hurt, whereas if we're over on the right, it's really just going to kind of funnel back down into the fairway. So let's hope that we're heely rather than toey, or just be straight altogether. We're just trying to get our reps in here. We're never going to win any of these events, not in the near future anyway. Too new to golf. Okay, that was toey, and we're actually going to be right in the center of the fairway. That was toey and had a bit of a draw to it. And by towy, I mean it nearly didn't even hit the face of the club. All right, looks like we're going to be A-okay there. Hole 7's another short par 4. That's probably why these guys are 10 under. I'll probably be lucky to shoot even here on these 2 rounds. 240 downhill. Let's just hit a golf ball that will stay in front of this bunker. I'll hit my driving iron here. I just really don't want to mess around with it. I wouldn't say I'm terribly good with this driving iron, but it does on occasion go straight. And this occasion is not now. That was way off the toe. Look at that gear effect. Guys, you just got to keep swinging your swing, and that's where the ball went, and it only went 140 yards. Like, that's what's happening on this hole. I could do a bunch of cussing on the tee box and all of that nonsense, but there's really just there's no value in it. Just swing your fucking swing. That was one of the best strikes I've had with that 3 hybrid in a while, but we did clip a tree, and I don't think the collider was that far out of line, so it's all good. 120 foot, 120 yard, whatever the hell it is. I can't tell the topography there, but that took a very strange little bounce. That you always those shots are just, they're fucking demoralizing. Let's put it that way. So this entire hole has been either mishits or unfortunate circumstances. Hopefully we're done here. Rough hole, double bogey. I find myself struggling with is the physics of golf are easier in the simulator. That's pretty hard to argue. You've got this cute little mat here. It's the same every time, whether you're in the sand or in the weeds or on the green. It's the same every time. It's hard to argue that that part is easier here in the simulator. I think what kind of makes things a little more difficult is the actual simulation software itself. Slash how demanding is your launch monitor, right? The ProTee VX exaggerates spin a little bit. So between the two, between the launch monitor and the software, you've got to kind of find your happy place. That is going to be severely short. On the green though, which is good. Looks like we were a little bit on the heel. Birdie look. You ain't gonna make a 33-foot putt. Just get it up there, lag it to the hole, move on. Or don't even get it in the gimme circle at all. All right, we're 3 over after 8. I wouldn't say that's too egregious. We're between OB on the left and a lateral on the right. Pretty narrow fairway here. I'm gonna hit this driving iron again and try to not hit it off the toe like a jackass this time. All right, much better strike. Your irons, if you hit them correctly, will generally have a straighter, lower trajectory than any club with a bulge and roll type face, such as a hybrid, a wood, or your driver. And we know that wherever this ball hits, it's going to want to go to the left. So maybe we aim up here, hit a little 160-yard shot. That was not a good strike. That actually kind of hurt my hands. So probably thin. Yeah, it was thin. Another birdie look. Another putt you ain't making. 27 playing what, 35, 34? For a par. What do we got here? Ashley Bosfidence. So apparently this is some sort of mashup between boss and confidence. You guys, this lady is doing everything here. Fanny pack, some sort of drink in a drink holder, obnoxious nails, Apple Watch, fucking tube top under overalls. She's got something hanging here. It's probably hand sanitizer. She's fucking doing everything here. Stupid aviator shades, AirPods, Mickey Mouse hat. She doesn't appear to have any egregious nose piercings. But she's basically walking through her neighborhood, taking selfies of herself. Let's see what she's saying, even though I could barely give a fuck. Nothing changes after divorce except the house is cleaner, the dishes aren't piled up in the sink, there's no laundry on the floor, the mental load is less, the house is quiet, nobody's asking what's for dinner. This woman's clearly got not a great relationship with whoever her ex-boyfriend is and probably her dad. It's unfortunate that she feels this way. But honestly, she's probably divorced basically because of who she is. Okay, yep, single mom life, divorced. And if you guys could hear the TikTok, it would be Freebird from Leonard Skinner. Guys, I don't know why people spend so much time swimming against the current, but whatever. What's the next one got to say? This is some goofball dude here. His name's Michael Mondragon. First name's capitalized, second name is not. Surname is not. And he says, on this day, on February 26, 2025, so a little over a year ago, this TikTok's a little older. He says, I don't care who you think you are, lower your tone when you talk to my woman. I already know I look good in orange. Let's tackle a couple of things that are going on here. First of all, grammar. The grammar is pretty terrible. There's no spaces between sentences, not capitalizing the first letter of new sentences, etc., etc., etc. And I don't know why anybody would be raising their tone to his woman. Like, is she doing stupid shit and making a fool out of herself, or? Also, why are you documenting this day like it was some momentous fucking occasion? All you did was say, lower your tone when you talk to my woman. I already know I look good in orange, which means he's not afraid to go to prison to beat you up if you talk, if you raise your voice to his woman. He doesn't look particularly menacing. Maybe he's got a gun or something. I think in a fist fight, most people would be able to go toe to toe with him. Maybe he's a UFC fighter or something. I don't know. I don't know. Guys, I don't know shit. I know I had too much beer to drink yesterday. This is, hey, it's Ashley. Hi, Ashley. Ashley has no obligatory nose piercings. She could probably use to whiten her teeth just a smidge. And her eyebrows may or may not be drawn on. As in if you threw a bucket of water on her face, Wicked Witch style, she may not have eyebrows after the dust had settled. But let's see what Hey It's Ashley has to say. She says, rich in life because I'm the first woman in my bloodline to tell a man to shut the fuck up, and he worships the ground I walk on. I strongly doubt that unless this dude is a huge simp. If my wife told me to shut the fuck up, and it wasn't warranted, because sometimes I need to be told to shut the fuck up, I would not worship the ground she walked on. She's the first woman in her bloodline to tell a man to shut the fuck up, and he worships the ground she walks on. Guys, I'm not buying this one for a second. Let's play some fucking golf. I think we're all dumber now. Why do you guys need to work against each other? Stop telling your man to shut the fuck up. Hopefully he's not doing too much shit that requires you to tell him to shut the fuck up. And why don't you guys, like, go on a date or something, or kiss and make up? Quit swimming against the river. Quit working against each other. We've got bad things on the left and even something badder on the right. I do hate OB. Two-stroke penalty. Two-stroke penalty in GS Pro. It's usually a one-stroke penalty when I'm playing out with my buddies on the golf course, because we just go up to where the ball went out of bounds and we drop another ball. Is that perfect USGA rules? No, it's not. But that's how we play, because it's good for pace of play and it's good for morale, and we're not professional golfers. Now, if you want to sit and hit ball one after another out of bounds, fucking more power to you. I'm not your mother. I'm not the person buying your golf balls. All right, it's leaking right, but I think we'll be okay. We have 245 into the pin. I'm assuming we're aiming at the green, but it's anybody's guess with this horrible software. We are aimed at the green. We're going to hit the 3 hybrid. We're going to hit the tree. We're going to hit many trees. We should be fine. That was not a bad shot. This is a par 5. Everything's going to be just fine. Do we want to hit the lobby lob? Maybe hit the sandy sand. Easy sand wedge. Nice shot. On in 3, I believe. So we got a birdie look. Blah, 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 blah. Golf, things golf people say. Downhill leaker. Just stop in the circle, all right? We're downhill here. Pretty receptive green. It looks like at least part of it is canted from back to front. I probably want to hit my, I don't know, 7-iron here. There's some grass on here. I probably shouldn't be hitting it without cleaning it off first. Apparently that was over the top with some fucking closed club face action going on. Whatever. Rarely see that ball flight outdoors. 26 yards? And the ball's gonna want to come off this side of this hill quite hard. Except not this time. This time it went where it was supposed to go. Dangerous little chip shot here. You guys, that absolutely fucking 98 times out of 100 would have gone in the hole. This software is frustrating to say the least. Was that another bogey? Well, you can't rely on chip-ins. So I'm not gonna blame that shit on not making the chip in. Got another pretty narrow fairway here. The question you need to ask yourself is, you're trying to hit fairways, or you're trying to get as close to the hole as possible? Which is it? Some people can do both. I don't possess that skill, but I do know that you are hamstringing yourself if you don't try to get as close to the hole as you can. And I don't see a lot of bad stuff here. Maybe we're stuck behind a tree or something, maybe not. We might be okay, but it's leaking, and I see a bridge or something over there. Got a members bounce off the cart path, and it looks like everything's going to be just fine. Whopping 280 yards. But I think that was pretty poor ball. That was pretty poor ball striking there. Another toey shot. Pretty bad shot there too. 25 feet from the pin or something. Little bit of a break. Let's try to hit this like 25 feet here. That just didn't go. Maybe we can make this one. Not a whole lot going on in the chat. $338 to the pin. Come on, you son of a bitch. There's a little draw. Luckily, the fairway's pretty wide. $75 into the pin. Let's do an easy wedge here, pitching wedge. Come back. Yet another birdie look. You'd think with as many birdie looks as we've had, guys, that we wouldn't be 4 over par, but alas, here we are, 4 over par. We need to hit this thing like barely 9 feet. Nope. It's actually going to make us putt again. These greens are playing more like 11.9 stimp. One of my favorite things to bitch about. Another little draw. I don't know if it's because the swing's good or it was toey. It was toey. Swing was okay. Producing a little toe draw there. Started out right and went over to the left, it looks like. Low spot by the pin. That felt thin. Maybe it doesn't go far enough. Maybe it does. It's hard to say. I was hoping it would funnel over toward the pin because that's the low spot. Another birdie look, but these greens are pretty quick. We're down a foot, almost a foot and a half over 40 feet. So this ball's going to want to go. I need to hit maybe a 20-foot putt here by feel. Number 15 appears to be a 170-yard par 3. With the tailwind, it's playing closer to 160. Excuse me. That swing felt really good. Apparently I had a closed club face. Notice that I'll never I'll never confirm nor deny that anything happened. I'll just say it was alleged or apparently. 17. Okay. Let's make sure we're green here. We're green, we're green. Good bit of rollout for having almost 3,000 RPM of backspin, but you're obviously going to lose a bunch of that out of the rough. Been nice to sink that putt. Would also be nice to win the fucking lottery. That's not happening either. Be nice to win the fucking lottery. Neither of those things are happening. Let's put some of these shitty TRIFLI, MAXFLI TRIFLIs back into play here. These Ping I2 clubs generate a good bit of backspin and they chew the ball up. I'm tired of chewing up Pro V1s because it starts to damage your screen after a while. There you go, you're all caught up. It's kind of easy to make this ball go somewhere you don't want it to go. The hole's all downhill. That must have been extremely towy. And we're probably going to end up in a, looks like a bunker. All right lie, maybe. 150 out of the bunker. More like 140. Let's see. Let's see here. Let's try this club. Pretty heavy shot. We didn't quite get there. Pretty heavy shot. 50 yards. And this is a par 4. Pretty much guaranteeing a bogey here. Do roll. What's this playing? 17, 23. And she stops. Another bogey. All right. This person's name is Precious. The double standard is starting to disappear, is what they're telling us. Men have always been known to be attracted to younger women. Well, no shit, Sherlock. But now young men are whatever. And it says, why are older men now upset with the fact that older women are switching up and dating younger men? I'm not saying this doesn't happen, but I'm saying that statistically, this is statistically insignificant, and you're just trying to stir the shit. I'm not saying it doesn't happen. Statistically insignificant. This is Gabby something or other, just raising a mini-me. She says, one day some little punk is going to tell my daughter, you're crazy just like your mama is. And I just know she'll respond, and you're a little bitch just like your daddy is. Why would you raise your kids to be that confrontational with people? Life's already hard enough. Quit being so fucking confrontational. Michael Taylor says, social media buried reality. Social media made men obsessed with women they've never met and made women feel entitled to lifestyles they've never had and can't afford. Everyone is illusions instead of reality. Am I missing something here? I think Michael's trying to say everyone is illusions instead of reality. Sure, whatever. Lynn's book lover. Margins app knows I'm insufferable. You probably are insufferable if you're posting shit on TikTok. A 6'3" man who smells like cedarwood, has tattoos, reads fantasy on margins. Guys, I don't know what margins is, and wants to rearrange my guts would fix me right now. So she's saying she wants a 6'3" tall man who smells like cedarwood. I don't know why the fuck anyone would smell like cedarwood unless they had just been to the lumber yard and bought a bunch of aromatic cedar. Tattoos are a dime a dozen. Most people have them now, so most people are going to check that box. And reads fantasy on margins. And most men, because you're a woman, are going to want to rearrange your guts, which if you're following along at home, that means the guy wants to have sex with her. So if he's tall, smells like cedarwood, has tattoos, and wants to have sex with her, that would fix her right now, according to her. And she's got those stupid fucking things you put under your eyes to get rid of the bags. Oh, these fucking TikTokers are just fucking insufferable, dude. Next thing we've got is somebody asking about blah, 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 dating single moms. Blah, 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 blah. Why are men afraid to date single moms? Like, oh, that TikTok's never been made ever in the history of the fucking world. Congratulations. What do we want to hit here? Let's have some fun and hit that driving iron again, even though most of the time it is not really that fun. You do need to hit it pretty squarely, but let's give it a shot. Mizuno Fly High driving iron, 2-iron utility iron, whatever the fuck the kiddies are calling it these days. But that's what we're going to be hitting here. Toe ball, we'll be down there somewhere, a lot of work to do. If you hit them correctly, they're very nice. I'll just say that. You're going to have a real good time. But we've got a 382-yard par 4, which is classically going to be considered a pretty short. And we've got some work to do here. It's telling me to use my 3-iron. I will oblige. Hopefully it's not some nasty toey shot. It's leaking a little to the right. Might have been the club, but we probably were better off hitting the 4 hybrid, maybe the 5 hybrid, because it was toey, but maybe it had gone far enough if it wasn't toey. golf. Golf, golf, golf. What's this? 13 footer? That is two misses. We must not have been green. We green? We're green. +6, huh? We'll see if we can do better on the next round. I don't want to hit my driver. I'm just going to hit this 3 hybrid. Got to give some love to the other golf club sometimes, you know? Little bit of a draw there. Should roll out a smidge. I would say not a bad shot, but we need to hit the same club again, and it's over water, and I'm not doing that. Shelby's not that accurate with that club. We do need to get about, I don't know, let's hit our 140 club here. Into this clearing. Definitely came across it like a rookie, but we should be okay. And then we got a $111. We're downhill about 3 yards. And the ball's going to want to go to the right. So let's just get into the center of the green. Poorly struck ball. I'm not surprised if that doesn't go where we want it to go, but it looks like we got a little good little bounce there. Definitely hit a couple of those, whatever that feel was. I hit a couple of those at the golf course yesterday. 17 feet. That fucker broke right in front of the hole. Things I just typically don't see on the golf course, but I haven't played every single golf course ever made, right? Waz says beauty, thanks sir. All right guys, we finished 6 over. It looks like the only double we had was on number 7. Am I reading this correctly? Yeah, we had 1 double bogey, a few bogeys, a bunch of pars, and a birdie. There's your stats. Pause it if you want to see them. Let's move on to round 2. 3.49.5 public beta. There's Waz's tournament. Guys, if you want to play some beautiful Michigan golf courses, head over to Waz's Michigan Golf Courses tour. Shameless plug for him because he's in the chat. Let's finish DLud's second round, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And it's at Three Ponds Farm. So it looks like we were following his at Red Tail, or wherever the hell we just were. I would assume it was at Red Tail, with a little par 3 course with hard fairways and hard greens. But at 3,000 yards, it might not be a par 3 course. We'll just see once we get in there. He's got the wind blowing. He's got everything is hard. We're at sea level, 6-foot gimmies. I'm sure this is gonna just fucking enrage me. This just feels like it's gonna make me mad. Waz says nice round, thanks boss. Looking forward to maybe scooching a little bit closer to even. Well guys, you can fucking color me confused here because we already straight out of the gate have a 528 yard par 5. You can fucking color me confused. What is going on here? I don't know. We got nothing on the back 9. 3,000 yards on the front. So it ends up being a normal course. We'll find out as we play. Guys, I am far too stupid to figure out why these guys do any of the shit they do. Okay? I do not possess the intelligence quotient. Waz says the course changed. Yeah, now we're playing Three Ponds Farm. And I feel like I just played this with Flying Fat Kid, and it was kind of cool. Okay, we're starting out with a little TJ hooker. Pretty good chance of being in a bunker. And you can see that the bounce that ball took at the very end was basically defied physics. Gotta love this fucking shitty software. GS Pro. Use it at your own risk, people. Let's hit us a little 3 hybrid out of here and see where we are when the dust settles. Waz says it's the default course, they didn't change it. Nice little draw there. We should be somewhere desirable. I see the green up here has got a couple of flags on it. 79 yards. What do we want to hit? Let's hit an easy pitching wedge. That will get close, but it's going to be a little short. No, it's not, because we're playing hard greens. We actually got a little bit of extra distance from the hard green. This is a double breaker. I'm just going to hit the ball. I'm a little bit surprised by what just happened, but I digress. Waz says he's got to go. He says have a good day. It's the last day for state team tryouts for our country dart league. Check you later. Hey boss, have fun. You guys dart, if you've never played darts before, it's actually kind of fun. Give it a shot. 133 yards. Hard greens though, so we don't quite want to hit that far. And we do have a tailwind as well, probably pertinent information to know. That didn't feel like good contact, but it ended up being a decent ball. Hopefully it stays. There it went. Hard greens require a whole other level of planning when you're hitting into them. This ball's mostly going to break left. and it's going to go downhill, and it's going to want to kind of go a little downhill a little fast. So let's just give it a little pop here. Little teaser there, it looked like it wanted to go in, but it didn't. It did not. So I will admit it's kind of cool to play 2 different courses in a 2-round versus playing the same course twice. But for anybody who's listening in here, who's thinking about starting an SGT league, it is difficult to stand out from the rest of the leagues, including my league. Seems like every swinging dick nowadays has an SGT league. They're coming in and telling you to join their shit and subscribe to their shit and begging for subscriptions, and you'll find out which ones you like sooner or later. That probably shouldn't have popped off to the right that hard, but we have an adjacent fairway to play off here. Looks like we generated a bit of side spin, slightly open club face, and we really got to play it safe here because of the hard green. This is, I haven't had a round in recent history where the hard greens and hard fairways have benefited me, but since we're coming up short on everything, it's actually kind of to our benefit today. And besides that going in the hole, pretty good lag putt there for a tap-in par. This is tricky because you've got to roll the ball up to the pin because it's on the front of the green. So just do the best you can, folks. That's all we can really ask from you. Boring ass live stream. Had too many beers to drink last night like a fucking moron. Okay, we're hoping for some rollout here, but that shot was just short. It felt a bit thin, I would say. It didn't feel like I got much compression. Let's hit a little chip shot. Even though on hard fairways, you could certainly putt here if you were brave enough. Decent effort. I'm just glad I didn't skull the goddamn ball. Hey Tedsky, it's been a while, sir. How are you? Welcome to the chat. Ted says, morning there, young man. Ted, I don't feel young this morning. Had a couple too many beers last night with the missus. She don't drink beer, she was drinking wine, but okay, guys, that ball rolled right over the edge of the hole for an unfortunate bogey. I think if you've been tuning into the channel long enough, you know how I feel about that, and I really wish that GSPro would fix the problem. Ted says he's doing good. Well, Ted, since there's nobody in the chat, at least Waz left. Waz had to go throw darts. Real darts, not golf course darts. What's going on with you? Why are you doing good? I'm glad you're doing good, but since we don't have any chat participation, if you would like to briefly let us know, or ad nauseum if you want to make it not brief, what's going on with you? I'm going to hit a 3 hybrid here, probably against my better judgment. No, go left. That shot didn't feel that bad. It wasn't that bad. I mean, it's a par 4. We probably could have been a little more up and a little more safe with driver, but hindsight's 20/20 in the game of golf, right? It's especially 20/20 in the game of golf. Let's ruin a golf ball here. Very grabby lob wedge here from the Ping I2 beryllium coppers, known for their illegal spin. Too much. Too much. All right, let's just try to hit a normal shot this time. And we're on hard greens, so that's going to go coast to coast, and I am going to putt. So we've effectively turned a par 3 length par 4. I'm not going to putt this. We've turned a par 3 length par 4 into a par 5 here. Didn't pick the shot up. Okay, Ted's saying it's too cold to do anything outside today, so he's heating the garage to play around in the sim, I'm assuming. And he's checking out YouTube golf. Yeah, there's a lot of us. Okay, guys, that's 2 shots the launch monitor hasn't picked up. Let's make sure we're going green here. If not, check the connector. Everything appears to be green. I don't know why it's not picking my shots up. Probably wouldn't have had that ball flight and that rollout in real life. However, we are really taking our lumps here. We're going to take a double. There's another unfortunate double. Should have just teed off with the driver, but hindsight's 20/20, right? Okay, you're supposed to play this to the dog leg and then head up. If you play it over here, you're playing off of another fairway. So maybe what I'll do is try to just get somewhere over here in this region. Right here. And perhaps we slice over to the other fairway. Perhaps we do not. Okay, so that was a good shot. I just want to clear the bunkers now, which it looks like we might. Strange little bounce there. No comment. No sticks, no seeds, no stems. We're 3 over after 5, which I don't love because this is a pretty short course. Bounce up there. That was very toey, but still a good shot due to the rollout. It's crazy, no matter how close I get to the ball, everything's still fucking toey. Lob wedge here. Very short shot. You guys, that's indicative of how short this course is. That was an eagle. I think, I am not sure, but I think this green is going to be troublesome because it's hard. I think we probably want to aim more. This is a terrible pin position for a green like this. I see a weird little dot here that I don't know what it's for. But let's just try to hit right here and maybe the ball rolls over toward the pin. Ted says, are the two shot cameras that are showing the swing in slow motion set up in OBS? They are not, Ted. They're actually, right, I got one right here and one right here. And they are in the lab software for the ProTee VX launch monitor. But easy to set up, cheap cameras, but if you don't have a ProTee VX or something else that supports those playback cameras, you would need to set it up some other way. Not getting much ball compression today. And I know exactly why I'm not getting any. Oh, wind, blow, blow. Guys, that would have been a really beautiful shot, but we hit it a little too far to the right, even though the wind was blowing left. And now you've got a bunker that's fucking taller than Shaquille O'Neal here we got to hit out of. Very unfortunate shot. I thought that felt really good. It was not good enough. Not good enough for GS Pro. Another weird little ball flight there. So we've effectively turned a hole that should have been not too bad into a nightmare. But that's what we do here on Turbo Talon Golf. Let's make sure this doesn't go off the back of the the green. I think we're almost done here. Very decent putt. Little putt in, tap in, double bogey there. Very unfortunate hole there. If you haven't played this one before, I would avoid that bunker at all costs. Hit all the way over to the left if you're able to. Hole number 8 is a 411 yard par 4. Ted says he tried slow-mo with OBS, but he can't get it that slow. Ted, I actually have to go in and set a special setting for my launch monitor software to be in slow motion. It gives you a little slider. That ball is falling out of the air like a fucking airplane with no engines. I don't know why it did that. It had 400 RPM of backswing and backspin and 400 RPM of side spin. You guys, I never, ever, 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 ever out of the fucking 60 or 70 rounds outdoor that I've played, ever seen that type of ball flight. I think it's some sort of, I think it's some sort of, the launch monitor sees something and it doesn't like it, so it does everything it can to like shit out an AI generated algorithm, and you get a very strange ball flight like that. I don't know why it's doing it. Probably best to ignore it altogether, honestly. Let's hit, so we're in the rough. I think we might be able to get up there. Ted says, all in all, how do I like the ProTee? I think it's one of the best overhead launch monitors you can get. There's probably stuff that is more feature rich, but I think it'd be difficult for you to find it. It's maybe a couple shots out of 100 that are a little bit suspicious, but it's pretty accurate. My only real qualm with it is that it shows you're generating more side spin than you really do. Especially on clubs that generate a lot of side spin, your longer irons, your hybrids, your driver, that tend to generate more spin than the other clubs do anyway. It has a hard time with those because the longer the club, the more off it is from what my ball flight looks like in real life. Not to any great extent, but there's still, like, not that last shot, but the longer the club, I think it overestimates side spin quite a bit in some cases. But no launch monitor's perfect. It's still, because I play on a TrackMan when I go see my swing coach. I think this ProTee is light years better than that $25,000 TrackMan. And I've played at two different simulators that use the TrackMan. That orange, it looks like an orange book. I think it's better than a TrackMan, even though it's like a third of the cost. There's the long version. I should have given you the short version. Long putt, but we're going way downhill, guys. I think I might have pussyfooted that a little too much. We'll see what happens. Wish that had gone a little further, but it still probably wouldn't have gone in the hole. I think this is the last hole we're gonna play. That being said, let's just launch one over there. You can see there's a bunker in the front of the green that is meant to catch golf balls of unsuspecting victims like me that try to drive the green. We'll see what happens. 9 mile an hour crosswind. Terrible shot. Very toey. We'll see what it does to us here. It's right on the edge of the lateral hazard, but it's not. It's gonna let us have it. That must have been way off the toe. Oh yeah, that was terrible. Ozzel Rockets in the chat, welcome. He says, go low, sir. It's already too late for that. I think I'm about 10 over for the tournament, if that's what you would call it. And I think the leader's 10 under, but we really can't expect to be beating those guys. They play too well, right? So we're kind of in between a rock and a hard spot. You got to bake this 17 degrees of upward slope and 13 degrees right. So you're going to need to hit a club maybe you are not planning on hitting, or you're just going to go straight up in the air. Let's try. Let's try this club here and just see where it goes. And guys, I don't even know if I'm going to hit a bunch of colliders here or not. So you can see that ball wants to go right really badly. And that was probably the best. That was way better than I even should have expected out of that lie. Hazel says low is relative. He is correct. Low is relative to your handicap. I agree. Wise words there, sir. How are you coming along, brother? It says we're done. So we played 9 holes, 3 over. We had that chip-in eagle on 6, a couple of double bogeys. I don't mind bogeys. Double bogeys are mildly annoying. And we'll take an eagle wherever we can get it, but pretty good round overall. I'd say 3 over for all of the mistakes we were making is pretty good. But while Hazel lets us know how he's doing, if he chooses to do so, let's look at a couple more shitty TikToks and then close the video out. This guy his name is Juan _talks. Why do some men avoid dating single mothers? It's kind of weird hearing a dude ask this because it's usually females asking this. He says some men say it's the kids, others say it's the connection to the father. I would say it's all of the above. Me personally, if my wife and I got divorced and I was to try to remarry, which let's hope that never ever happens, I would probably be looking for some unicorn woman that was somewhere near my age bracket and didn't have any children from another marriage and hadn't been married before. That's my 2 cents on the subject. You may feel differently. I personally think it's all of it, right? She's going to have an ex-husband. She's got kids from another marriage. You would be raising kids that were born from another man's ball sack. That's not my cup of tea. I hope I'm never in the situation, but if I was, I probably would avoid. I would avoid mothers with children. This lady is unapologetically this bish, which means she's going to say something stupid. Anybody who's unapologetically something is probably going to say something stupid. I am an example of that. I'm unapologetically a cynical asshole, and I say stupid shit all the time. So let's see what this stupid shit is going to say. Assuming this is a female, I think it is. Looks like we've got some lash extensions. We've got the obligatory nose hoop, and she looks like she had her labrae pierced at one point. So all kinds of fun going on with this young lady. She says, I wouldn't even know how to flirt. What do you even say? You look like you could ruin my life. Want to get tacos? All right, yep. So we were expecting something stupid, and it was so stupid that I'm going to delete it. And here's one that is actually a man. I don't have a lot of shit from dudes come through my my feed, but this dude's name is Big Country, and he looks like the chick's husband from Pee-wee's Big Adventure. When they're at the dinosaur park. That's kind of what this dude reminds me of. Probably wouldn't fuck with this dude. He looks like he could throw down. He says the problem is that are men being told what a real man is by women who grew up without a father. Probably to some extent statistically true, but I don't know those statistics. He's saying the problem is that men are being told what a real man is by women who grew up without a father. I would say that that could be plausibly statistically true. Unfortunately, women do get to dictate what a real man looks like because They are the gatekeepers of sex, and that's how it is, and that's how it goes. I don't know if the statistics this dude is quoting are true or not. Hazel says he's about 75% out of 100, still scared to swing driver, so been hitting hybrid off the tee. Yeah, dude, there's no reason to rush. I know I say this every time, but you're young. You'll heal up and recover. But I am looking forward to you getting back in the ring and hitting that driver like you used to. I'm sure you want that more even than I do. All right, guys, I'm going to conclude this most boring of live streams ever put on YouTube. I don't know what it is. It's a lovely Saturday morning. It just feels really boring to me. It's 10:30 in the morning. Everything feels boring and slow and shitty. Right? I don't know what to say. So that was 2 rounds of DLud's League. We've got a few other things to play, but I got a round of 18 holes outdoors tomorrow. 8:10 tee time, which is weird because it's still almost technically winter here in Utah. So I'm interested to see if they let us tee off at 8:10 or if there's a frost delay or whatever. Hazel says have a good one, and Tedsky says later. You guys, I'll probably be floating about in cyberspace, but I don't see any reason to do more than one boring ass live stream per day. I'm looking for ways to church these up, but it's really hard to make something as boring as simulator golf exciting. Maybe once I start playing a little bit better and having a little bit better scores, it'll be a little bit more exciting, but who's to say that'll even happen? But I do appreciate each and every one of you. I'm going to close the live stream. Turbo Talon Golf signing out. Love you, bye. You guys have a good week.